Glory goes to the Most High God. All praise and glory goes to the Most High God. Now, I'm just recording this for my own reasons. Last night I had a very interesting dream. I was in a school bus. I was probably about the age of 10, 11 years old. I was a child. I was literally in a child's body. Literally, I was in a child's body. And I was 9, 10, 9, 10, 11 years old. Around those ages. Elementary school age. Like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade age bracket. So that was the age bracket I was. I'm sorry about the chickens barking in the background. But anyway, in that dream, I was around that age. I was sitting in the seat directly behind the school bus driver. I was sitting in the seat directly behind the school bus driver. I don't remember who was driving the bus. Now, the bus was driving down a dirt road, like a dirt rough road. We were on the side of a mountain. It was heavily forested, thick greenery and trees. The driver was driving very, very fast for this road. And I rebuke all the cursings in Jesus' name. I rebuke every word curse spoken by Jesus' name. I rebuke you, word curses, in Jesus' name. I'm sorry about the cursing in the background. But, I rebuke that in Jesus' name. But some people, neighbors and stuff, they have anger issues. I don't want to talk about that person. If you do hear it in the background, I'm sorry. I don't have my own private place away from all society. Anyway. So, I'm sorry. Anyway, so the bus was moving really fast. The greenery was green. It was like probably June, July. You could tell it was warm out. And I was wearing a pair of blue jeans and like a short sleeve top of some sort. It was plain. There was nothing on it. And I had my hair like a bob cut, or bob cut to almost shoulder length. It was brown. And I was around the age of, again, 9, 10, or 11 years old. Non-pubescent child, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I was sitting behind the bus driver. So the bus driver was moving very quick. The bus was moving very, very quick on this dirt road. It was a one-way street. And I could see ahead there was a 90-degree angle to the right. And this guy is driving this bus like 75, 85 miles per hour on a dirt road. The greenery's rushing past, and one side is a drop off that drops way down because we're on a mountain. And then the other side, so on the left hand side, is the drop off. You can see the tops of the trees. On the right hand side is a wall of mountain with trees all over it. So it's a mountain covered in trees that goes straight up. And then the road turns right. The bus driver, he turns the wheel, juts it really hard, and turns the wheel to the right really, really hard. But he loses control of the bus because he did not hit the brakes. He did not hit the brakes. You could tell he did not hit the brakes. He just turned the wheel real hard to the right. He lost complete control of the school bus. The next, the school bus goes flying. You can feel it, but it's like slow motion. Now this part gets strange, but it's slow motion. And there's no seatbelts in the school bus. There are other people in the school bus. There's people behind me, all elementary school age kids. And the bus just goes flying over the cliff. And, there's treetops and all that. But I felt myself get lifted up off the seat. And I'm flying up in the air. The bus is up in the air. sideways. Now the bus flipped over onto its side and it's flying in the air because it flew off the edge of off the road, over the cliff, and out in the middle of the air. And I don't know how high up we are, but we were high up. And at first I thought I should clench up into a ball, and instead I let go and I just relaxed. I was like, God will take care of me, everything will be fine. And instead of, clenching up my knees to my chest and crunching up into a ball, I didn't. I just completely, stretched out my legs completely so they were unbent. I stretched out my arms until they were completely unbent. So everything was unbent and I was completely, just stretched out flat. Like there was no bends, no angles. Because I just said to myself, I have to be stretched out flat because if I'm bent, I'm more likely to, my bones are more likely to be broken. And I just completely trusted in the Lord to take care of me. The bus goes flying and crashes into the earth below. So it goes flying off the cliff and crashes into the ground. So, I didn't feel the impact of the crash. It was just like slow motion, just, relaxed, stretched myself out. I just completely relaxed while in midair. Because I was not sitting in the seat cushion. I was floating above the seat cushion, above the school bus seat up in the air, between the seat cushion and the top of the school bus, or preferably the side of the school bus where the windows were on the other side of the school bus because it was sideways. And there were other people in there. You could hear screaming of all these other kids that were in the bus because it was filled with kids on this bus. And the next thing you know, the bus had crashed. I didn't feel the crash. I didn't, and I had no, that part was skipped. There's no memory of that. Boom, crash. The next thing you know, I knew I had survived the crash unscathed with no harm, and I was outside the bus. The bus had crashed off the cliff in the middle of those woods. It was a jungle and woods. We were surrounded by heavily forested woodland. It had thick, tall spruce trees were around us, along with deciduous trees such as maples and such and such. It was green. It was warm out. July, August, June, one of those 3 months of the summer months. It was very green, very, very green, and very warm. And I remember seeing a bunch of other kids. They were standing around. One girl was tall. I would say about 10 years old at the most. She had blonde hair, shoulder length with bangs and blue eyes. She was wearing some type of blue dress of some kind. It looked kind of old-fashioned to me. It didn't look like anything modern, like some modern, normal girl her age. It looked more old-fashioned. It went down to her knees, out kind of like those 50s dresses did. They went out, and it went down to her knees, but it went out and it was blue, and it looked like it had white polka dots on it, and she was wearing some type of white shirt underneath the top part of the dress because it was thick strap dress at the top, but had a shirt underneath it. Anyway, there were other kids around her. There were boys and girls of other ages. I don't really remember them. And I never did get to see the bus driver, who was the driver of this bus. So the next thing was I decided I'm going to walk home because I just knew no one's coming to our rescue. No one's going to come to help us. And I remember that blonde-haired girl. Her name was Alyssa. We never talked. We didn't have anything. Just me, her, and those other group of kids of, a bunch of other group of kids of different ages, going, much younger, 6, 7 years old. And we just wandered out in the woods, but we ended up separated. They all wandered different directions in different ways. I remember that we all wandered different directions, different ways. We didn't, go, the same direction. And I remember wandering through the woods. And I knew there was a lake out there, and I wandered past a lake, and I was wandering on my own in this woods. It was thick, deep forest. And I just kept wandering. And then I remember the woods getting dark and turning black. Like, as the sun sets, when you're in the woods, when the sun sets, it gets darker much faster when you're in the woods than it is out in the open. So because the trees are absorbing the light and everything and blocking the light, and so as the sun sets, it just got dark very, very fast, and to a point where it was pitch black, and I was in that woods wandering. And I remember like there was like some type of clip of a highway or something. I don't remember where that fit into it, but I do remember walking down the street and coming home, and I got home on my own, and I had returned and I'd opened my door, and my mom was waiting for me, and yeah, I remember walking home and I had a school bag on me, like an elementary school bag. I don't remember having it on me before, but at the end clip, I had like some type of school bag or something with me. Something you would have probably like I think it kind of remind me of my elementary school bag I had in kindergarten, which is a very long time ago. But yeah, and that was basically the end of the dream. So I did look up some things about like bus accidents and everything, and it's like they were talking about online, like like if you're in a car and a bus accident, it means you need to let go of being with a group and just like yeah. I gotta cut this video. I'm sorry. I'll be back as the Lord leads.